I get a lot of messages and comments from you all on this platform, on Instagram, TikTok, even from family and friends asking me how things are going here, why I moved here, how long I'm gonna be here, all of that good stuff. So we're gonna do a Q&A. It's my first time filming a Q&A, so just throwing it out there that these are my own thoughts. These are my own opinions based on my own experiences. My intention is to not offend anyone or upset anyone. Just want to be honest and open about how my life really is here. I have questions on my phone, so I'm going to be referring to these. And of course, if there's anything that I don't answer, any additional questions or comments, or you want to share some of your experiences, I would love to see all of that in the comments and we can continue the conversation there. So without further ado, let's get into this Q&A. So first question, why did I move to Italy? So I actually ended up moving here for my husband's job. Essentially, they say, hey, we have different locations that you can come and work at. Do you want to come work at this one? He said yes. So now we're here, and because we're married, I moved here, and now we live here together in northern Italy. The next question, what region do you currently live in? I live in the Veneto region. We're up on this side of the boot, if you think about a picture of the Italian map. And living here has been so different than what I'm used to. We're in like a smallish, mid-sized town in the mountains, and there's so much more greenery around than I'm used to. It's beautiful. And I always said that I would be a beach person through and through for the rest of my life, but being here has really shown me that one, the mountains are absolutely stunning, and two, you can have both, like going to Lake Garda. Lake Garda is so beautiful. It's one of my favorite places to travel to here in the north because it's like this big, beautiful blue lake, and then behind it, pointy and spiky, picturesque mountains. It is beautiful. I love living in this region. Of course, it's not perfect. Nowhere is perfect, but the kind of life that I have created for myself here, life here is very peaceful compared to how life was before we moved. So next question, how long have you lived there and what has been your experience immersing into Italian culture? So I have lived here for about 10 months, just shy of a year now. I moved here May of last year, so May 2025. And as far as immersing into Italian culture, I don't know if I ever fully can or ever fully will, because I do truly feel like an outsider here. When I first moved here, I felt so uncomfortable. Like the first 3 months, I felt like I was nervous to go into shops and restaurants, and I just didn't know like what the status quo was or how to go about certain things. When you're new, you just feel like you look like this lost, confused person all of the time. And for some people, navigating that embarrassment or perceived embarrassment is easier for others than it was for me, because I felt so shy, so lost, so scared when I first moved here. But then after a while, I just kind of got over it. Okay, next question. Do you speak Italian? I took like an entry level to Italian course when I first moved here, and that was so helpful in making me feel more comfortable in navigating just everyday life. Anything else beyond that definitely is self-taught, and I think being here and being immersed in the language and hearing it all the time, I definitely have learned a lot and have picked up on a lot. But I'm one of those people where you can say something to me and I hear and I know what you're saying, but I don't know how to respond in Italian. And if I do, I just freeze up and I'm like, but for me, anywhere that I travel to, I feel like it is a common courtesy to learn something. Being able to say hello, goodbye, yes, no, please, thank you. Those common everyday phrases, you gotta know those. Whenever I can, I try to use my Italian, but then sometimes it kind of turns into one of those things where a lot of people here do speak English, so they'll hear my accent and they'll just flip over. But that's not gonna stop me from trying and at least wanting to be respectful of where I'm living and use the language that I took time to try and learn a little bit of. So 5th question, what is social life like? So I feel like I'm very lucky that I've been able to make good friends here that I feel like I can be my full silly self with. I love that. But I'm not gonna lie, when I first moved here, I felt so lonely and so isolated. And I'm sure anybody who has moved to a new country, just a new city, anywhere, studied abroad, you know that feeling, like those first few months where you're like, I don't know anyone and no one knows me. And that's super fun and exciting to live in that space until it's not. Making friends at any age feels so challenging, but to do it in a foreign country where you don't speak the language, it's a lot. When it comes to community and socializing here, community is not just encouraged by the people around you, but it's actually encouraged by the spaces that you're living in here. It always just seems like there's some kind of event or festival or market or something. So we're gonna move on. What do you miss the most from back home? Obviously, I miss my friends and my family, but to be so real with you guys, I really miss the food. I miss the food so bad. Like a good seafood boil, the things I would do for a good seafood boil bag, and good Mexican food. I can acknowledge the importance of ingredients, and that's one thing I do really love here, is that I know that the food is gonna be of good quality, it's gonna be good ingredients, it's gonna be whoever's making it, they're gonna care about what they're serving you because it's a reflection of them. For me, as somebody who's used to more layered, complex taste, I guess. Yeah, the food kind of all starts to run together. Don't get me wrong, we have our spots here where we know, like, okay, they're gonna season it right, it's consistently gonna come out good every single time. Like when I'm craving a seafood pasta, for example, I'm going here because I know they're going to give me a well-seasoned, delicious seafood pasta. But then it's like other places, it kind of tastes like, okay, you genuinely just gave me olive oil noodles and seafood. Sometimes I just want a little salt and pepper, a little spice, a little paprika, garlic, onions, things like that, because here in the region I'm in, I've noticed that a lot of foods here don't have garlic. And that's not knocking the food here, because sometimes you do just want a yummy, simple, straightforward dish. Another thing that I miss about the States is just the overall diversity and the broader perspective of social acceptance. I stand out so much all the time, and like the rumors that you all have heard online about staring is so real. It is so true. You can tell the difference between someone staring at you as you go by and they smile because maybe they're curious, or you're new to the neighborhood and they're just wanting to know who you are. But then there's the people who like will stop dead in their tracks and like follow you with their eyes and sometimes their whole body. Let's move on to the next question. Do you see yourself staying in Italy long term? I'm gonna say no. For long-term life and the things that I want out of life, I don't think I'd be able to fully achieve that here. I definitely see myself living maybe in a different country overseas or going back to the States. Of course, I'm open-minded to any possibility, like anything can change and open up and happen for me in life. I'm enjoying my time that I have while I'm here, but when that time is up, I will be accepting that this chapter of my life is over and moving on to the next. The last question, how has living in Italy changed you so far? That is such a big and loaded question. Before I moved here, I was very much grinding, 9 to 5, stacking my money, chasing the next promotion kind of person. Whereas now living here, I don't see my life and my accomplishments as these big picture things. I now view myself and my life as a culmination of little moments. I wake up and I go to my local coffee shop and I had a really good cappuccino and I read my book. I went on this really nice hike and discovered a new trail. I see my life as those little things all stacked on top of each other. Instead of before, I very much saw my life as big goals, big accomplishments, working to this next thing, just kind of that grind mentality that comes with being in the US capitalistic society. Things have slowed down for me so much where I feel as if I'm able to see myself so much clearer. Truly the biggest thing is the confidence that I have gained within myself. I feel like if you give me anything, I can handle it. There is nothing in this world that I cannot do, that I cannot figure out. I know that my time living here at some point, whether that's this year, next year, 2 years from now, whatever, comes to an end, this would be really hard for me to move from, because I've just become a version of myself that I love here. So many of the experiences I've had here literally fed my soul, and I will carry it with me. That is all I have. I appreciate you sitting through this video and listening to all of my responses to these questions that you guys have given me. Maybe in the future, I will do another Q&A. As always, thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next video.